Hey, what's up, Laser fans? Welcome to We Have a Take the What podcast. I am Tara Bowen Biggs, and I am joined by Rose Harding. Hello, Rose.
Hi, Tara. How are you doing today?
Oh my gosh, it's been so long since I've talked to you. I'm doing great. I don't know. I don't even have, I guess during the course of our conversation, you'll hear a little bit about what I've been up to, but by and large, I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Uh, I'm hot. I'm
Yeah.
sticky. I think of it like the way to describe myself right now is I'm sticky, and I'm really
Yes.
looking forward to like the cooler temperatures that are coming next week.
Yeah. What is this humidity business?
I
Like
don't know.
it's no, no, thank you. You can go back to where you came from, humidity.
Yeah, I do like it when the summertime when we get like a day of sprinkles here and there, which we've been
Mhm.
getting this summer, but it does make it more humid like for several days after that. It's like you feel
Mhm.
just sticky.
And it's probably like our humidity is probably like so low that people who are like sitting in like New York City or other places are just like, what is the matter with you? Stop.
Yeah, Floridians are like, cool. I can't put my bread on my counter because it just molds.
Well, it has been a long time since we talked. The last time we got together was like at the end of June, so it was after the draft, but it was before Summer League. Um, and I think let's kind of just introduce the topic or how we're going to talk about today and get caught up on what's been going on. So our the topic of today, for lack of a better word, is what have you been doing instead? Because we got our regular routine during the
Yeah.
season. We got past summers to compare this summer to. What are you doing instead this summer? And like, so for example, for me, instead of worrying about Damian Lillard all summer, I've been living my life. It's
What a
amazing.
blessing.
There's a whole world out there when you're not fighting with people from Miami on Twitter, it turns out.
Oh my God, that's God, I forgot that was last summer and it was forever. It took the whole summer away from us. And this summer we just get to like do whatever. Worry about other stuff.
Well, it's kind of
Uh
amazing basketball wise, just like the difference between how much was just like pressing on us all summer. And now it's
yeah.
just like you're kind of like casting about like, is there anything to talk about?
I actually really enjoy like the voyeuristic quality of um like peeking in on other NBA teams' problems when like knowing that I can be completely unbothered by what's going on with them. It's like, oh, look at the drama over there in Golden State. Look at the drama over there in New York. Look at the drama over there and all these teams that don't matter to me and I don't care about them one bit, but the drama's fun.
That is so true. The drama of the Laurie Markkinen saga between the Jazz and the Golden Warriors. Oh
Yes.
my gosh, I cannot get enough of it, honestly. It's all the housewives I've been watching this summer instead of basketball. But like just the whole like they want him, the offer wasn't good enough. Well, we didn't want him anyway. Well, we weren't going to get rid of him anyway. Well, then what's the point of any of this?
Yeah. That was like there was some parts of that drama and I didn't follow it that closely. I just followed it like at a distance where I could find it amusing but not be too invested. Um it like there was some like it reminds me of like the Damian Lillard Miami stuff where they were like, "Oh, we're trying, but we're not trying that hard. Like we're great without him. It's not a big deal." And like why even talk about it?
I know.
Like
Also, just give Shams and Woj a couple weeks off. Like,
yeah,
it was just,
seriously.
I mean, I got all, but good Lord knows I didn't like read about any of this stuff. I just got
No.
it shortly through my like Bleacher Report and ESPN notifications. And so it was just like headlines, and Lord knows like if those were even accurate. But like on the
Right.
one hand, it would be like, Warriors pursuing Laurie Markkinen, and then the Jazz saying, Warriors aren't serious. And then the Warriors saying, well, the Jazz gave us a bad offer. And it just like goes on and on and on with both teams walking away going, well, I didn't want to trade him anyway.
I don't know who like I'll say that, like I don't know why you would be trying to like put out your feelers and see if you can get a good deal from Danny Ainge on anything anymore. We saw what he did in Boston for all those years. Like, why are you think he's gonna just like give you a good deal on this really great player? Like, no,
Yes,
you're
because they're
probably
the Golden Warriors.
right. I'm like, why? Like, if you're gonna try to like get a good deal from somebody, that's not the guy I would go to get a good deal. That's the guy I go to if I'm like, he absolutely holds the player that I absolutely want, so I have to go deal with Danny Ainge. Go try to fleece somebody else. Like,
But yes, I agree. It's been lovely not being involved in that drama. Okay, but what's your like I don't want to say relationship to Damian Lillard right now, but like how are you feeling about Damian Lillard almost a year after he's moved on? Have your feelings changed from like September um or what's up?
so okay, I can actually sum this up for you in a little like snippet from my life that I will share with you. So my daughter has like decided this summer that she loves to go out to eat. So we go out to eat like way more than we used to. And like she's great in a restaurant, quiet kid, will color and whatever and people watch. She loves it. So one day, I forget where we were. We were like out and about and decided she wanted like a Happy Meal, which of course children all love Happy Meals and I don't know why because it's just the same food in a
In
cute
a
box.
box.
Yes. Whatever. I don't care. I'll take her for a Happy Meal. The thing they were giving away in your Happy Meal are like it was like they were done by Panini, the people who do like the sports cards.
Yeah, okay.
And you get like a poster and it's got some of the pictures of different random athletes on there. And then there were some that were like stickers you could like stick on like the stickers of other players for different sports. They seem kind of like broad sports, kind of like the Olympics.
Hmm.
So maybe it was related to the Olympics and you could like stick stickers on them around like on the poster and make it look cool. My daughter got pulled out her poster and she's like, I don't like any of this. And she handed it to me. And right in the middle is Damian Lillard. And I was like, oh, I forgot you existed. Like I wasn't even thinking about him. I forgot he was a guy. I mean, I didn't really, but I was like, oh, yeah, you're still a sports guy. Of course you're. But then it was really funny because he was like, painted in one of those like unbranded.
Unbranded, yeah.
They like unbrand their uniform. And it was very funny because it was very clearly a picture of him where I think he's in Portland. But they
Oh.
but they painted him green.
Oh.
Because I was
Like,
like, those are old Damian Lillard shoes. I know those shoes. He wore them here. He's not wearing them anymore. They painted him green.
well,
And
and
you know what? I didn't care.
he has so many iconic poses from so many just different iconic moments that you probably identified him probably just from how he was even standing because we're just so used to him.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, but it was just like I just hadn't thought about him as
Hmm.
like a guy. Then like I hadn't seen pictures of him in my Twitter feed forever. Like
Hmm.
I just totally forgot he was a guy. And then I was like, oh, here he is in his unbranded like the outfit you see him on like summer camp posters where they're like, you
Yeah.
can't say what team he plays for, but here he is. I was like, oh, that's cute. Good for you. You're in my daughter's Happy Meal. So I guess
Wow.
I was happy to see him. I wasn't not happy to see him,
Hmm.
but I also hadn't just like don't think of him nearly as much as I used to think about him.
Hmm.
Just out of sight, out of mind.
That's funny. I've actually started thinking about him more this summer
Oh.
than I was like. I mean, I've of course thought of him during the season, like here and there, but like especially kind of the way it sort of just came to a fizzle like conclusion um with Milwaukee. But I've just been thinking about him this summer, like, oh, I wonder what Damian's doing, just because he was always in Portland and he always had kind of a high profile. And I think he's in Portland now, but he's keeping a
Mhm.
much lower profile, which is just weird because that just doesn't seem right for him because he's just such a like high profile kind of person. And so I just keep wondering, oh, I wonder what Damian's doing. Or I kind of miss just like the random, Damian night where he'd show up somewhere and people would all come. And now it's like if something like that is happening, we have to like scrutinize it and be like, is it the same as it was before? And I just kind of miss the days where like Damian was just like the pillar of the franchise. It was nice. We
Yeah.
had, we had it pretty nice for a while. And I think you and I have fully expressed our appreciation for that. I don't think we ever like took that for granted. But even having not taken it for granted, I still miss it. I still like, man, that was nice. Man, we were lucky.
Yeah. And I kind of wonder if like, so like Dame is kind of chill, and like I think that he felt high profile here, but like I don't think he was trying to be high profile here. I think it just was because when we saw him out and about, we knew that he like represented us. And so
Mm-hmm.
everybody wanted to like, you know, celebrate that. And
Mm-hmm.
now when he's out and about, I think people don't always know how to act anymore. Like he doesn't represent us anymore. He still lives here and he's still a huge part of our community, and he won't, I don't think he'll ever like not be. But we don't like the fans don't want to necessarily like flock and celebrate him in that same way, just because now it's a little awkward because he does like he's a part of us, but he doesn't represent us in that way. He's not a symbolic representation of Portland anymore. And I think that's totally fine. Like, I mean, I'll say like of present Portland. Obviously, I think people will still always love him when they see him around town, but like it just doesn't feel like the same to do when you're like, but you also represent Milwaukee. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll say like personally as a fan, I got like kind of worried about him at the end of last season because he was like,
Mm-hmm.
he looked like he had those Dame blues. You know
Mm-hmm.
how sometimes he gets the blues, he gets like he just felt like he had the blues at the end of the season. I'm like, I think you need a summer with your kids, your family. I think
Mm-hmm.
you need to go be with people who love you and just like you for you instead of fans who want wins from you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so like I don't know. Like I would have been shocked if like the if all the drama that happened around that team, if they'd been any good at the end, if I'm being honest. Like I didn't expect them to be any good after they dismissed their coach, after Doc Rivers came and said all those weird things. Like I'm glad that they're gonna get to start again kind of fresh this season, but like I didn't like when I saw things going south in Milwaukee, I'm like that nothing good's gonna come from that this season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm bummed for Damian because I really thought that he would go to Milwaukee and he'd play with Giannis and everything would go great. And
Mhm.
I think, Milwaukee wasn't his first choice and I always felt like a little bit better about the fact that at least we um traded him to a place where he could contend. At least the Blazers traded him somewhere where he could contend, and then right away they were not contending. And I was like,
Right.
oh, that was kind of sad. And so like, absence makes the heart grow fonder. I just kind of miss the routine of those like hot boring afternoons in the summer where he'd just be playing with his kids and live streaming that kind of stuff. And I don't know, I just kind of miss it. And the people who are on the team now just don't seem necessarily like those kind of guys. It doesn't mean that they can't become them when they decide they want to be, but they just aren't right now.
Mhm.
However, plus side, it's freed up a lot of my time.
That's true. That's
How-
true.
um, what have you been watching instead of NBA basketball?
Well, I still watch basketball. I'll just be totally upfront. Like I've been watching WNBA basketball like since like the NBA has ended. Honestly, since basically the WNBA season started. So actually I was watching more WNBA than I was watching like NBA playoffs because I didn't have a horse in that race. And I'm still dreaming of us getting a WNBA team.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I'm also watching the Olympics, like most people. I wouldn't say most people, but like I feel like most sports fans, they like dabble in the Olympics, at least some. And I just love it. I can't believe I didn't have Peacock the last Olympics.
That was like the so great. And for $7.99 a month.
Oh
Seven
my God.
ninety nine a month. We got everything.
Not only that, like I got Peacock last Black Friday,
Okay.
where I got a whole year for $20.
Okay, so you're still on your initial deal. Oh,
Yes. It's
so worth
like
it.
I feel like I got my money's worth. Like,
Yeah,
and then like the next like 2 to 3 years is just like I'm like I already got my value
I
out
know.
of
I
the
don't
cost.
I'm so afraid about when it falls off the rails, because inevitably it will, because all good things must end. But I just remember when I was paying $2 a month, I'd be like, that's the best $2 a month I spend. And then it went up to $5.99, and I was like, I don't care. That's the best 6 months, $6 a month I spend. And then it went up to $7.99. I'm like, I don't care. That is the best $8 I spend. And when they pulled off the Olympics, it was astounding. It was so much fun to watch. Oh, okay. So I have a very important Olympics related question.
Mm-hmm.
If you were going to choose an Olympic sport to do based solely on the outfit that you would need to wear to participate, what kind of an Olympic athlete would you be?
Just based on the outfit.
Just based on the outfit. And you got a lot of choices. Oh, I mean, you know,
Only Summer Olympics?
Yeah, I think Summer Olympics, because we're all experts on the Summer Olympics right now.
Right,
Because
that's right.
I mean, and by expert,
Because
I
we're
mean
watching it for 2 weeks.
yeah, we've watched at least 20 minutes of something. You're now an expert on it.
Yeah. Okay. I know what I would be.
Okay.
So I'll say like, well, okay. My like initial thought, my like initial thought is like I would be a breakdancer because those people get to dress comfy. Like
Mhm.
breakdancers are dressing
Yeah.
comfy, like they are there to be like
Comfy and cool.
Yes, exactly. With like and like their outfit adds to like their like swagger. And I'm like, okay, breakdancing. But hear me out. No. You know what I would be? I would be um an air pistol marksman because they get to wear those sweet glasses and look like assassins in Bond movies. And also like I think you saw that like there was like a really like a Korean air pistol woman who like
Mhm.
took the internet by storm because she looked so cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're both Korean.
Yeah.
Maybe I could look that cool.
You could totally pull that off, Rose. You could. And then you have the little thing to like pull down in front of the lens.
Totally. Totally. Yes. So yes, that's what I would be. I would be an air pistol marksman.
And
That would be my event.
I think they
What
kind of
about
wear
you?
like, well, don't they wear like kind of like lightweight jackets, or just like a polo shirt underneath?
Yeah, and they wear comfy pants and like,
Yeah.
like comfy shoes and they look comfy too, for sure, but they got the cool glasses
Mhm. Mhm.
and you like they like I don't know. So you saw that there was like that woman, and then there was like some Turkish man who also got really popular on the internet for
Mhm.
a hot second. And that just looked like a dude like going to Costco.
Yeah, he did look like a Costco dad.
This is apparently like the thing that I compare all guys who are just like look like they're not trying at all. I'm like a dad going to Costco. Like,
Yeah,
but yeah.
my family are big fans of the Costco wardrobe and Mart.
Oh, right.
When they really want to zhuzh it up, they go to Mart and get a plaid.
That well, you gotta have formal wear.
Yes. Okay. So if I was I too considered break dancing. I could be a B girl, right? Is that what they're called? Um
Yes.
but I really don't think to my core that I could pull that off. I know, shocking. And then I definitely don't want to do any kind of swimming, because not one person looks good in a swimsuit, even if you have the most incredible like athlete body physique. It doesn't matter. Put you in a swimsuit and you just look not great. And then
Those
especially with the hat and the goggles, no.
There were two hats. And
Yeah.
then the thing that drives me crazy is like, so the men especially, they have like the most perfect bodies, right? And somehow those trunks still give them muffin
They
tops.
look terrible. I don't
I'm like,
understand
how
it.
does this man with like a perfect abs and body have a muffin top
Yeah.
in these swim trunks? They must be so tight.
I know. Yeah. I don't know. So I nothing in there. So I ended up with climbing, shorts and a t-shirt.
Wait,
Simple
there's
as can
Olympic
be.
climbing?
Oh my God, yes. Yes. So the other night I was up late at night, and I was watching the finals of it's the women's pair, and it's bouldering and then leading. And so they like did all this bouldering, and then they went and they had a break, and then they did like a big tall climb. And they just wear like the cutest, like lightweight, like they got it off the rack at like Sierra Trading Company. And I was like, that's my outfit. That is the sport I would do.
I like that we both prioritize comfort though.
Oh yeah.
I'm not trying to like stick the edges of my leotard down with glue and tape like the gymnasts do. I
Did you
think.
see that video that was going around of the synchronized swimmer putting gelatin in her hair?
No.
Because because they like she made this like whole cup worth of gelatin and then was like slicking back her hair for the synchronized swimming. And like she's like, it doesn't stay on throughout the performance, it comes off. So you have to put enough on so it'll last for the whole thing, but you don't want to put on any extra because it's like goopy and gross. And I was like, oh my, can you imagine the pool with all the globs of gelatin like floating around? So yeah, no swimming. Equestrian would be too hot because you have to wear like a
Yeah.
coat.
What do the sailors wear? They're sailing. I just don't know I can't think of what they wear.
That's pretty good. Probably a jacket, probably like a sailing jacket, like
Yeah.
a windbreaker kind
Yeah,
of thing.
that
So that might not be too bad.
fencing looks cool, but I would like the fencers with their like giant like masks and stuff, but I wouldn't actually want to wear it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they look like they're in like a simulation kind of like I would expect because also they have like the little tether on them where they're like hooked
Mm.
up to something, so that looks extra strange and it makes them look like there's some sort of like I don't know, like in some sort of kind of matrix kind of thing.
Honestly, like all of the people that do those like table tennis and badminton, like those people all are wearing comfy clothes too.
Mhm.
Like they're
Yeah.
like wearing like shorts and t-shirts and sometimes a
Yes.
light jacket if they're a little chilly, but like it's up to them.
Yeah. Yeah. And the nice sometimes they have to wear collars though. I don't think any of the Olympic climbers had to wear a collar. I don't want to have to wear a
Oh,
collar.
that's nice.
And
Yeah.
yeah, they were just super cute. It was really fun. I super enjoyed watching. I got really the odd sports I got really into, definitely climbing. I enjoyed the breakdance. I didn't even see that one lady that everybody's like laughing about from Australia who like
Mm.
shout out to her for being 36 and doing that. Like good for her. Um but because she everybody else was like 18 years old, it seemed like. God, what there was some of
Right.
the, it was right at the very beginning. I don't even remember what it was. It feels like it was like a month and a half ago, but it was really only a couple of weeks ago.
Raygun. Her name was Raygun.
Raygun. Yeah.
Raygun. And she I think she was 38
Mm-hmm.
and she had like a PhD in breakdancing.
Mm-hmm.
But like, okay, here's the thing that I will say about in defense of any brand new sport in the Olympics. Anytime there's a brand new sport, the like international like competition that allows people to qualify for the Olympics, like a lot of those like that structure, the competitive structure is not in place.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a lot of the times it's like whoever can get to whatever tournament they set up that makes you qualify for the Olympics. And those are usually people who have like money, personal money, because there isn't like a governing body in their country that helps them pay to get there. So the competition turns out is not so great sometimes. And like, the richer company or the richer countries have probably like a better opportunity to even get there, even though there might be brilliant breakdancers all around the world who like just can't afford to go like travel to whatever competitions they set up to qualify for the Olympics. So if for some reason breakdancing sticks around longer, which I think would be cool if it did, I expect the competition to actually get better.
I enjoyed it. I thought it looked exhausting.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine like having to do those routines and then stand and like still keep like jumping and moving and watching while your opponent went and then doing that 3 times and not being able to repeat stuff. I was like, don't bother me for the rest of the day. I'm exhausted from just watching breakdancing.
I was
I
super
can't even
thrilled that
imagine
they
doing it.
they did it like battle style, right? So they
Mm-hmm.
had like it was a little bit of like head to head.
Mm-hmm.
They had like head to head competitions, and I think that that's great. I think that like having like the battle element was like cool instead of just like someone out going out there and doing like a routine and then like ta-da, now grade
Mm-hmm.
me. But the thing that I was wishing that they had, and I said this on Twitter, like I wish that they had a team competition because dance crews are like a totally a thing and it would
Mm-hmm.
make for exceptionally fun television. There
Mm-hmm.
used to be, remember that show on maybe you don't know this. There used to be a show on MTV, I think, called America's Best Dance Crew.
Okay.
And they would have like a competition where they would
Mm-hmm.
be like a mix of like battling and also like choreographed like performances from crews. that were exceptionally fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? Like they should add crews if they're going to keep this around, because crews are awesome. And there's also like, if anyone has seen this documentary, it came out in 2007 called Planet B-Boy, there is like a major breakdancing crew competition called Battle of the Year in, I think it's Germany, every year, where like the best crews from around the world get to go there to compete. And there's like, it's not even glamorous, it's like not for like money, it's like, you know, it's, I mean, there's some kind of aspect of winning that's good for them, but like it's not, it's because these people just love to dance together. And also like crews form like great bonds and like find really complementary dancers to dance together. And so like I think that that would be a really fun, cool like aspect for the Olympics to cover. And then you could cover whole crews together and how they came together.
That would be really fun. Maybe they'll do it in the future.
Yes, they should. They should do it in LA. I know that it's not on the slate. It's not on the slate of events planned for LA, but LA should change their mind because it would be really fun. And we have a ton of great dancers in this country.
Mm-hmm. Well, to go back to what we were talking about, did you what we were gonna like do a whole episode about Olympic basketball,
Yes.
and then it like because we were like, oh, Blazers are gonna be involved and it'll be like really exciting, and then Matisse didn't even make Australia. What does it matter, Australia? We don't even
I
know
don't
what
know.
happened there. Shaden like practiced with Canada, but that was like the it for
Yeah.
basketball involvement for
We had
Blazers.
we had Reith playing garbage minutes for Australia.
Weird.
And yeah, also they didn't do so well this year.
The team I was really into, I was like a super not into Team USA. I was just like, I don't even care. Like just don't and like just don't even embarrass us by not winning. That was as much as I rooted for them, was just like, ugh.
Mm.
But I was super into the South Sudan team, and I think we've touched on them
Yes.
before. And I was so happy for Wendy and Gabriel, and just watching, like, I've followed Wendy and Gabriel ever since he was a Blazer, and been really interested in whatever it is he's interested in. And he's been building towards this for quite a while, like in the pride of South Sudan, and getting
Hmm.
the team to even make it to the Olympics, to take USA to a game in the right beforehand, to like push the USA to win a game in the actual competition. I was so happy for Wendy and Gabriel, and they looked so amazing in their suits in the opening ceremony, and like I was more invested in South Sudan than any other team.
Same. I mean, I just love also teams that are just like competing is special for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel so like don't get me wrong, Team USA, yeah, but like it's like a team that goes to the Olympics expecting to win.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that can happen is they can meet expectations or fall below expectations. There
Mm-hmm.
is like nothing else for them to do, and so it's not as interesting to watch like story wise. But like South Sudan, they didn't even think they would be there. They got the second birth out of the African, like the two African births, and they people didn't expect them to be the second team that came out of that. And like they got, although I was so they got to like, and they got to fly their flag. Like they got to like be the only, I think they were the only athletes from their country that this year, and they got to fly their flag. Although I was really bummed that they had to share a boat.
Mm-hmm. And they were on one of the little ones too. It wasn't
Yeah, and
just a
they
boat, but it was a small boat.
right, and I was like, I don't like that. And actually, what I think was like a big miscalculation from France from this, like, their like opening ceremonies, is that because they did boats, boats became like visual representations of how like big and small these countries are, sort of. And some of them were not even big enough to get their own boat. And one of the most amazing parts to me about the very, very small teams when they normally like parade the athletes into the arena is that if their team is small, they still get to walk out alone, and everybody gets to see just those very few athletes, sometimes only one from their country, and they're the only one, and they still get to walk in and represent their country. And this time they're like, oh, you're not even big enough to get your own boat. Share a boat.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that that's like kind of crappy because it doesn't highlight what makes it even more special that they're there. Like this country is here, and maybe they've never been here before. Maybe like they've only been able to do that once or twice, and we get to see them walk in alone, and that one or two or five, whatever their small like delegation looks like, they get a lot of shine.
Mhm.
And this time we decided you got to share your shine with some
Mhm.
other small guys.
Yeah. And they're basketball players. They're big, tall people on a little boat.
Yes.
Well, I kept the whole time I was watching the opening ceremonies, I kept thinking about the logistics of like them sending out like a blast to all of France going, we need your boats. Do you have a boat? If you have a boat, bring your big boat.
We
And
will rent your boat.
I mean, they had to get so many boats. Do you think they really had that many boats around? They had to like, somebody had to coordinate all those boats, and that
I
was
don't know.
impressive.
I don't know. And I don't know, like, I understand why they thought that would make for good TV, but it actually made, I think, for a work. Like, I thought that part was worse than most Olympics, than just walking into a stadium. Because I actually like to see the athletes. And like, remember when the USA came through and it was like raining? And it was like they were all like in like ponchos and like scrunched up on these boats in the water. And I'm like, that, I mean, if it was raining, it would still suck if they had to walk in, but it wouldn't look this bad because they wouldn't be holding like a
Right.
LeBron was holding that flag at the front of the boat, just like taking water on his face.
Yeah. And those little boats too that followed the big boats and the waves that they
Oh,
were
I know.
riding. Oh my God, they must have been so seasick. I felt so bad for
I was really waiting to see if someone would might barf because I was like,
them.
that would just be great television. I mean, horrible for them, but great television because this is boring. Parade of boats, no thanks. Not in LA.
What why I don't know why, but Team USA, the basketball team this year, just did not appeal to me at all. And like I love LeBron. I think it's so cool that he's 40 years old and he's still the best player. I mean, he still was like, "Oh, we got to win. LeBron's going to win us the game." And I just thought like that one aspect, I'm sorry, I just love the fact that LeBron is still hanging around. But that team just did not excite me, and I don't know if it was because of like yet another Steve Kerr team, like Steph Curry. I've seen more Steph Curry than I need. I've already seen Anthony Davis playing alongside LeBron. I don't know. There was no Damian Lillard on it. I don't know. It just did not excite me. Were you excited by this team? Because I was like watching Twitter going like, what is the matter with people? Why are people so excited about this team?
I mean, I like I so there's two things about this team that was exciting to me. One, I love that for a team that's like got like as many stars as they could possibly want, that we still get stories out of there like Jason Tatum's mom is pissed that he doesn't get
Yeah.
enough playing time. Like that shit's hilarious to me and I love it so much. I'm like, oh, Jason Tatum's mom thinks that her son is not getting played enough by his AAU coach.
Yeah.
So she's going to go complain. Or they're not going to do that candy bar fundraiser that they're going to ask him to do in 3 months. Like, I just love that even like when your team is that big and that good, like there's still going to be somebody who's pissed about
Someone's
stuff like
mom's still
that.
gonna be mad.
That's right. And also, like the thing that I actually cared like a little bit about this year is that I think this is probably Kevin Durant's last
Mhm.
Olympic team, and like Kevin Durant to me is like the quintessential USA basketball guy. Like, I know that I heard all like he broke a bunch of records this year and everything, but like the thing that I like about him is that he never took Olympic years off just because he thought they might not win. And like he played 4 consecutive Olympics. He brought home gold 4 times. And like it's very clear that in Tokyo, a bunch of stars like decided that they weren't gonna play. And even if you were a star and you thought about going, when you hear that like all the other big stars aren't gonna go, you might not go because you don't want to risk not winning gold. And Kevin Durant is just like he plays no matter what. Like the Tokyo gold to me is worth way more than the Paris gold because the Tokyo gold team was like 3 steps below this team in terms of star power and like skill and also composition. Like if you remember in Tokyo, they were like slotting guys in at the last minute because like they were losing people. And I
Mhm.
know that there was like COVID restrictions and people had like spent a lot of time away from their families and they might not have wanted to do that for Tokyo, but like the fact of the matter is they were slotting in guys at the very, very end, and none of those like Kevin Durant like didn't scratch himself. Like he still was like, yeah, I'll go and help
You,
these guys out.
you mean didn't take himself off? I was like, didn't scratch himself?
Oh
What are
yeah,
you
didn't
talking
scratch himself from the
about?
team, but like a lot of those guys like at the last second backed off the team.
Yeah,
They like
I
backed
get
out.
it. It took me a minute to catch up.
And I mean, like, so, like, did you see that tweet from Tyrese Halliburton where he was like, when you don't do anything for the group project, but you still get an
Oh
A?
yeah. Yeah.
So, like, that's really funny. But Tyrese Halliburton, like, barely played on this team. Meanwhile, the, like, Tokyo team had, like, Zach LaVine and, like, Draymond Green and, like, JaVale McGee was put in at the last second because they didn't have anyone over 6'9". Like, Bam was their starting center. Like, I mean, so there was like definitely like other guys that were good, like Booker was on that team and this team. I think Drew Holiday was on that team too. But then it was like Dame and like Jeremy Grant, who I love, but like there are better guys at his position, bigger stars at his position that could have reasonably been on that team. Chris Middleton was on that team. And again, these are all good guys who are great in
Yeah.
the NBA, but like if you're putting together the best of the best of American basketball, like these are not the guys you would necessarily expect to be there. Half of that team would have been like LeBron, would have been Steph, would have been
Mhm.
like I sort of assumed that Steph would go that year in Tokyo because that was the first year that Steve Kerr was the coach. Or well, no, I guess he wasn't. That was the last year of Popovich. And then Steve Kerr was like inheriting that team.
Mhm.
So he was like, but no, he didn't. He waited till he was like 35 or whatever to go to the Olympics
Mhm.
because that's when all the stars went.
Yeah. I mean, congratulations to them, I guess.
Yeah, I just like okay, so like and like I'm good for them. They won another gold, but like
It
I don't
doesn't
know.
thrill me to watch people who are supposed to win something.
Mm.
Like, so anytime that they were pushed in any way, shape, or form, that was fun. And I found myself rooting against them because I wanted it to be fun. And it's like, I mean, that's like all those years where like there's people who love the Lakers because they're so good. And I think that would be so boring because, like you were said right at the beginning of this whole discussion, you either win or you fail. That's
Hmm.
those are your only choices.
Silver is failure. Bronze is
Yeah.
failure. Any other medal besides gold is a failure.
Yeah. Yeah. And then these yeah, I just was not I was just not that into it. I like was way more into like watching summer league games a month ago, 2 months ago than I was into watching, the Olympic basketball. It was just more fun.
Can I tell you one of the reasons why I was a little bit rooting against Team USA?
What?
I wanted to see this makes me sound like such a hater. So
That's okay.
I'm like totally revealing my
Go
hater
for it.
tendencies here to you. Like I actually wanted to see Joel Embiid play poorly because I wanted it to be all these countries fighting over this guy who actually like, laid an egg in the
Yeah.
Olympics.
Yeah. I know I was so mad when he like stepped up and played really good defense. It was at the semifinals. I was like, duh, that's so annoying. I wanted him to, yeah, I really wanted him to struggle more.
I just like thought it was like a like that particularly Embiid like sweepstakes was very like weird and sad. I felt kind of
Mhm.
bad for France. I felt bad for like I'm like, why don't you just go play for Cameroon,
I
dude?
know.
And no, he came and played for the United States, and I can't believe that like the last team we put forth, it was Bam, Draymond Green, and JaVale McGee playing center, and this time it was Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis, and Bam. Like, come on.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
just not this.
that's a different lineup. Although
Yeah.
I will always stick up for JaVale McGee and say that he is underrated. I
Yeah.
think he's the I think he's the perfect Olympics player. I think he's a great Olympics player because he's the vibes guy. If you're going to go on a road trip on the other side of the world to play for your country, you totally want JaVale McGee there with you. I know I would.
Functionally, I totally agree with you. Practically, I don't agree with you at all, and I think that he would be like my 10th backup that I would take if I look at the guys who are eligible to play for this team.
I I I j- I don't know. I'm not looking at a list of centers right now and of centers who are available, but I think his just I don't so I'm not going to say if he's a top 10. I don't think he's a top 10 center, but I think he's severely underrated in what he's able to accomplish just due to his experience and his being really clever and not looking really clever because he doesn't look terribly clever. And then he had a whole thing like named after him of people who were like flailing. And he just has people lulled into a sense of like, oh, it's JaVale McGee. And then he just like zip, 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 zip. I don't know. I think he's fun. He's always going to be one of like my non-Blazer faves.
Yeah, his mom, I think, was an Olympian. I think that's what I heard
Mhm.
the last time in the Tokyo Olympics, that his mom was an Olympian.
Yeah, I'm
But
sure she was. And his aunt, because they were twins. Him and his mom had a twin, and they were both basketball
that's
players.
right.
I'm not sure if she was an Olympian.
Anyway, I just want to say, hold that Tokyo gold up like real big and shake it around, because that one was not one that felt like very certain. And this one, I was like, yeah, okay, they did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly. And that Tokyo Gold was won by one Damian Lillard. So of course it means
That's
more.
right. That's right. That's right.
Um,
Also, I'll just say good for Kevin Durant, because even though like Steph, LeBron, whatever, those are going to be the narratives that prevail from this Olympic team, like Kevin Durant, as far as I'm concerned, is the USA basketball GOAT for the men's side.
mhm. I
Good
go.
for him for showing up every year.
I would, and for like getting the most out of it too.
Yeah.
He just seems like he just throws himself into whatever it is he's doing. I've come to like Kevin Durant a lot more over the years for just like being Kevin Durant. He's just never been anything else, and I
He,
admire that when someone,
he's just an aloof he's an aloof hoop head.
yeah,
And I also was like, I was shocked. I was like, oh, like I think like I don't know if LeBron or Steph was actually the captain of this team, because they were both everyone was trying to make this Captain America nickname happen. I don't know who it was, but I know it wasn't Kevin Durant, and I also know that Kevin Durant doesn't care if he's the captain of this
yeah,
team, which also makes him special, because you know that these other guys care immensely.
yeah,
He's just like, I'd rather fight with a guy with 90 followers on Twitter. I don't care if I'm captain of this team.
yeah, and go out dancing. Just like let me lean into the fun, or let me lean into it.
Yeah.
Should we skip to some of the highlights of what some of the Blazers have been up to this summer?
Yeah. I mean, so I'll say I've been keeping tabs on them. It's harder to know with this team to for me everything that's going on with them, just simply because they're not like, I don't know, as active on social as we like when we had like Dame and Nurk and CJ, like they both shared so much.
Mhm.
And now it's like the main Trailblazers account has to tweet out stuff just to make sure that we know that it happened with the guys sometimes.
Right, right. And also they're like 20. And like
Yeah.
I I don't know any 20-year-olds who aren't like actual influencers who are particularly like buzzing on social media.
That's right.
I just think these guys are like doing other stuff. But we have seen some highlights, whether or not they posted them. Chris got
That's right.
engaged. Congratulations, Chris Murray, for getting engaged.
Yeah.
That's
He
nice.
got engaged to like his like long time like high school girlfriend, right? Like
Mhm.
when we
Yeah.
covered him, it was like his long time girlfriend.
Yeah, yeah. She's been with him for a really long time. And it looked like a pretty like mellow, understated, not one of those over the top engagements. I mean, he still had somebody there to take pictures, but it was like they were on a beach, there were some roses, he's on his knee. Seems pretty
Yeah.
sweet. So congratulations to them. Oh, okay. Here's the news what I was very excited about to hear.
Oh,
Shaden is holding a basketball camp in Vancouver, BC, which I am so excited about because I am hoping that he's going to convert some of those Vancouver fans to become Blazer fans so that they'll come down and watch him
yes.
instead of all those annoying Toronto Raptor fans that come down from Vancouver every time the Blazers play the Raptors. This is like perfect. It's like a great opportunity to grow like a little bastion of like West Coast Canada supporters of the Blazers. I'm so excited. I hope Shaden has a fantastic camp and he gets all these kids and their families excited about the Blazers.
Yeah, also like so like I know so like Vancouver's in Canada, but like distance wise and culture wise, like they're the Pacific Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Which
not the
is
United States Pacific Northwest, but they're the Pacific Northwest.
which is why it's so annoying when they come down and cheer for the Raptors.
I
And
know.
Shaden is going to start like a relationship with these kids that that he's coaching at his camp, and they'll be like, "Oh, I want to go watch Shaden Sharp play," and so they'll come down and cheer for him.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I also like I just like I'm like we keep talking about expansion teams. I'm like, shouldn't Vancouver be on that list of cities that deserves an expansion team?
One would think.
You did take their team.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like they're gonna like give Seattle one at some point and then just forget about
Yeah, of course.
Vancouver.
Of course, that's how it'll go. Like, yeah,
It's
and if they expand internationally, it'll be south instead of north. So Canada will always have just one team, which is kind of a
that's
bummer.
too
But
bad.
Shaden as our ambassador, if he can get just some, make a little bit of inroads there, I'm very excited about the potential of that.
Yes. I love that for us and for him and also for like Canadian basketball fans. Like that like so one of the things I did watch some Canada in the Olympics and Canada like they're younger, I think, than like because obviously we sent like, you know, like Father Time and all of his disciples to the Olympics for Team USA, but like Canada's younger and like they've got a lot of talent that like they haven't like I don't know, they haven't as long together to develop the Canadian basketball program, but like Shea's on that
Mhm.
team, Jamal Murray's on that team, Lou Dort's on that team. Like there's a lot of really good Canadian basketball players now. And I'm cautiously optimistic that they'll be fun to watch going forward. And I would like Shaden to make that team next time. Hello?
Mhm. Yeah, they just have so many guards. I think that's the deal.
Yeah, they are. And like and Shaden is like still quite young. Like they know like you know, he'll have like several more Olympics.
Mhm.
Um and like, you know, Shea and Lou Dort, like they're on a very good team right now. Jamal Murray is an NBA champion.
Mhm. Yeah.
So anyway,
Well, hopefully
that'll be fun.
there'll be room. Um, a little bit of news that came in just a couple of days ago is that Klutch Sports now manages the Portland Trailblazers in tire backcourt.
Yeah, I saw that Scoot signed with Rich
The
Paul.
Scoot and Shaden, the future backcourt of the Blazers. Yeah, so I was investigating it, trying to get the background, trying to remember what happened with Shaden. So Shaden's agency was bought out by Klutch. And so by virtue
Right.
of that, he's now with Klutch. And then Scoot actually signed with Rich Paul.
Right, right. Yeah. Scoot's trying to, but you know what I was thinking? I was like, oh, it's like this is I mean, not that it's cute that he signed with Rich Paul, but like, you know, he's not close to a contract year yet.
Hmm.
He's like what, like 2 years away from a
Yeah,
contract year.
it's pretty young to be making that big of a move, huh?
Right, to be switching. It must have been like I wonder how he got his representation in the first place because like I don't know, like
Hmm.
it just seems like really early to be switching.
Yeah, or maybe he's got some big plans. I don't know. And I thought it was really funny because a couple of days ago, Adele confirmed her engagement to Rich Paul, and I was like, I totally get it. They needed to make sure that they had the whole backcourt locked up for the Trailblazers, and now he can turn himself to the pleasure and all the fun stuff like getting engaged to Adele.
Makes perfect sense. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for Rich Paul, I guess. But I mean, I feel like soon he's gonna have the whole NBA. Because doesn't he also have Jeremy? He has Jeremy's with
He is
Rich
Jeremy.
Paul.
Yeah. Yeah. I was actually
Jeremy's with.
thinking more, but Nurk moved on because Nurk is also
Mm-hmm.
with him, but he's moved on. And there was somebody else I think who was with him who has since moved on. But yeah, I think it's pretty interesting. I think it's pretty interesting that Scoot. I most of my basketball thinking brain over the summer has been spent on thinking about Scoot and the Blazers and what's Scoot going to be for the Blazers. Is he gonna like meet our super high expectations for him? Is he going to make reasonable progress? Is he gonna be where he was? Is he gonna, I've just been thinking about Scoot a lot over the summer and what his year is gonna be like. He's probably the person I'm most consumed with thinking about.
Yeah, I didn't. I've tried not to think about that stuff yet. I'm like waiting for like camp and stuff to start for me to start having like I don't know
Thoughts?
anxiety
Yeah.
about like the potential of our team.
Well, we
Um,
we haven't talked about summer league, and I think the thing is like I thought Donovan Clingan looked so good, and I'm so worried about him. I'm so worried that he comes from this winning background and tradition from high school to college, and then he comes to a team that is like on purpose going to tank. And I just like, oh, my heart just breaks for him. So seeing the glimpses of how good he could be at Summer League without even an actual, I mean, obviously this guy's a guard. The guy who was throwing to him was a guard, but he's not going to be the guard that he's paired up with. And I want Scoot to be able to play up to, what Donovan Klingon is used to, so that they can start there and, move on together. I don't know. I have this whole, okay, here's my wish. I'm going to give you my take right now
Okay.
because, okay, we need to start wrapping it up pretty soon anyway. So here's my take. I think the Blazers obviously seem to be keeping all of their vets for now. So I think beginning of the season, the Blazers need to play the vets alongside these young guys. So these young guys know what it's like to have somebody who can finish a play. So they know what it's like when plays are run right, what it looks like, and how they feel, and learn all of those things. They learn. So at the beginning of this, very, very beginning of the season, they play with the vets. They probably don't win until the middle of November. Tuesdays and Fridays are for winning. The Blazers are going to go for it, and they're going to win that in-season tournament, and they're going to just play the vets. They're going to ride those vets heavy. They are going to win the in-season tournament, and then they're going to trade everybody. Everybody over 26 is gone, and it's just the young guys to figure it out for the rest of the season. Here's why they need to actually try to win the in-season tournament. This team needs to know what it feels like to play for something. So let them play for something for those 12 games of the in-season tournament. Let them put it all together. Even if our young guys who are the future of the team are sitting on the bench, if they are part of a team who is playing for anything, something, I think that's going to be good for them, because otherwise they're just going to learn how to lose. So go for the in-season tournament, and then once they've won that, trade everybody and let the young guys figure it out from there.
I like it. I mean, so I'll say I like that because winning the in-season tournament doesn't really count for anything. It doesn't even like those games don't even count towards wins to your record.
Yeah, they do. They're part of
I
the
mean,
regular
knowing
season. Oh, you mean the
but
extra
once you get
games?
to once you
Yeah,
get to the tournament, so it's not even like it's hurting your draft position at all.
right.
And you play for just cash, like
Just play for something.
yeah.
Anthony, Scoot, Shaden, they need to learn, they need to play for something. And if Donovan is not on a team that's playing for something, he's going to be looking around going like, what is this? I don't know what this is. So that is the way I hope it will go. That's my take.
Yeah. I like it. I'm also just really curious about like just our big situation in general. Now we have like, you know, quite a
Oh,
few bigs that I don't know if they like how they work together.
mm-hmm. I think
And they all like offer something different.
it'd be cool to keep DeAndre for the rest of the season. Because I think he and Donovan complement each other. DeAndre just seems really happy, and I would just like him to have like a solid couple of years where he's just happy, and then he can move on. And I don't think it's going to be detrimental to Donovan's development because there's only so many minutes. And I think, Robert Williams, somebody will want Robert Williams, somebody who's making a deep run will want the skill sets that he offers. And like WAP is fine, but he's a great story, and I'm happy for his success, and I'm glad that he got a contract. But as far as figuring out the future,
Yeah.
it's all Donovan, and I think Ayton can help Donovan along more than he could necessarily with WAP.
Yeah. Also, like, I mean, he's like Reith is like he's gonna be a backup center in the NBA. You know what I mean? Like that's what he's gonna be. Like he's not. We're not looking at him and be like, oh, are you the future of this franchise? Because like he's 27. He's a 27-year-old rookie. Like the fact that you made it here is amazing, but like your ceiling
Mm-hmm.
is not going to be like seen as that high. Like by the time guys are 27, like the NBA has already decided like this is roughly what you're going to be. And maybe it's a little bit different for him because he didn't even make it until this year, but like, I don't think anyone's going to be deeply investing in him because, he'll be in his 30s when in the blink of an eye, and it's just awesome that he got here and is
Yeah.
contributing and is valuable, but he's not going to start.
Yeah.
Um
I think I need to amend my take. I think they actually do need to trade Ayton. because they're going to need to lose as many games as possible because there are so many teams who are going to be losing as many games as possible.
Right. Are you deeply committed to what's his face? I can't think of his name at the moment.
Flag.
Yes.
Not him so much, is just the fact that there's apparently so many really exciting prospects in this league. I mean, sure, it would be great, but like, when has that ever worked out for the Blazers?
I know everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, of course we like got picked 6 or whatever."
Yeah. Yeah. No, I just think that there's a lot of really good prospects, and by doing a good job of not winning, it will quiet a lot of loud detractors.
I love how you're like simultaneously these guys need to play for something and win something, but also lose as much as possible.
That's why the in-season tournament is so perfect. It's a maximum 10 games or 12
Yeah.
games. And like you said, the 2 extra ones don't even count towards the winning record. It's the perfect scenario. Win the in-season tournament and lose everything else. It's perfect. I'm so excited for this. This better happen. If it doesn't happen, I'm going to be so disappointed.
Also, like quite frankly, our team is young and they could use the cash.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like,
Yeah.
it's not like these superstars trying to win for just ego and they don't care about the money at all. Like,
Right. Chris has just got engaged. He's got to think about his future.
yeah, and his family is like these guys are remember they showed us his apartment. I'm like, your apartment's small, son.
Yeah.
Let's upgrade you.
Yes. I think giving it all to get caught up in the excitement of winning and playing for something and having it not affect your record at all. It's the perfect solution.
I honestly, can I just say like out loud that I thought that I'm kind of shocked that Matisse is still on this team. I really thought he'd already be gone. I thought that they would trade him. They matched him last year. Like Dallas, they signed him as a restricted free agent. We matched him. We kept him. I really thought we were just going to trade him to Dallas, if I'm being
Mm-hmm.
honest, because it was like very obvious, like why Dallas made that deep run this year, and like is very obviously why they wanted a guy like Matisse. Like
Mm-hmm.
I I am shocked that he's still on this roster and that we might be starting the season with him, which is not to say I don't love Matisse and I don't want him on this team. That's not it at all. I just thought that like the Blazers would probably match him, keep him for the season and then trade him for something instead of letting him just walk for free.
Well, they're going to keep him so that he can be the defensive spark to win the in-season tournament, and then they're going to trade him.
Got it. Okay. Well, I'm glad you explained that to me.
He's got a really such an interesting skill set, and we have so many intriguing young players potentially defensively. I think it would be great to have them play together for just a little while, so they can just get a little bit more of that from playing with him.
Yeah. That would be great. Also, like he's fun to watch, and he's developed more skills since he's been here. He's gotten to be a better 3-point shooter, and I don't know, like I think he's a little bit like underrated for what he can offer a team. And I'm like I'm pretty surprised that Australia didn't take him to the Olympics this year
I know, that's so
because
weird.
they could have really used his defense. They were like, no, we think Matthew Dellavedova and Joe Ingles adds more to this team than Matisse Thybulle because he's not they. So I just want you to realize though, Tara, that Joe Ingles basically serves the same role that you wanted to give JaVale McGee. He's the vibes guy of the Australian team, but
You're comparing JaVale McGee to Joe Ingles?
yes, that's what he is to Australia. They don't take him because he's like gonna like carry the team in the game. He's like the vibes leader guy.
Yeah, but JaVale McGee can still get a dunk. Not
That's
that
true. Joe Ingles
not
can't
that I
get a
approve
dunk.
of dunk. So maybe I
But Joe
should
Ingles can still
want
hit
Joe
the
Ingles.
three.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, I mean, that's like what that was his whole thing for most of his career. But neither here nor there, they should have used Matisse.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt so bad. Like, I don't know. I was just like, is Matisse just not as good as we think he is?
He's better. Matthew Dellavedova was on that team, and he plays, I think, in the NBL in Australia.
I mean, it seems like they wanted aggressive guys. you know, if you're going to take Ingles and Dellavedova, they wanted guys, you know, who will just get up in the other player's shorts and just like play mind games with them. And Matisse is a little too chill for that. He can still play that like super aggressive defense, but he's so chill, like personality wise. Maybe they just wanted somebody who is a little bit more aggressive that way. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. All I know is I watched some games that I was like, could
Could
use
have
Matisse
used
here.
defense. Well, and didn't he
Yeah.
throw out a pitch for the pickles?
He
So
did. He
that's
did. He
probably
threw out
more important anyway.
on Blazers night. I think it was Blazers night at the Pickles, and Matisse threw out the first pitch.
Good for him. Which means
So,
he's here.
basketball Australia's loss and
He
Portland
didn't,
Pickles win.
they probably didn't take him because he wasn't going to have time to get from Portland to Paris in time for
That's
the
probably right.
Olympics. That's probably
That's
what it was. He was probably like, thank you so much for the invitation, but I'm going to be throwing out the first pitch. It means I'm probably going to miss some practice, and it's just going to be difficult for me this year. Come back and
and
forth.
even like hanging out on Hawthorne and walking around seeing the sights. He's been here for, what, like 2 seasons now? 2 full seasons. He's needed to learn the city before we trade him at the trade deadline. Experience Portland's summer.
Well, so Rose, do you have a take?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it.
This is going to be a controversial take. As somebody who just spent a lot of time watching the Olympics, there's too many swimming events.
Oh, I endorse your take.
I think there's too many. They keep making up more swimming events. I swear to God, there's more every year.
Like, how can there be more swimming? There's still
And
more
it's
swimming.
just like, there's, it's like a lot of them. It's just watching people thrash in the water. And you know what I mean? Like it's just a lot of thrashing. Especially there's like a lot of sprints. Every kind of strokes got a sprint, and sprint swimming is just thrashing. I just like I don't like I'm it's exciting sort of, but like I can't tell what's going on, and I don't know who won until they show me on the board who won, because it was just thrashing until they hit the wall. And so what I'm saying is it's not great television. I can't watch more swimming events every year. It's like a whole week of thrashing in the water, and it's too much. It's too much. I would rather watch people run where you can kind of see you can see who wins. Sometimes it's really, really close, but like when a human body crosses the finish line, you generally get a good view of it. In the water, it's thrashing until you found out somebody hit the wall.
Yeah, well, because a half to 2/3 of their bodies are underwater and you can't even see what's happening.
Right. And it's hard to even recognize swimmers. You know what I mean? It's like you see their little like heads bobbing up and down. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I have to memorize who's in which lane. And it's like the runner, I'm like, I know that runner.
Yeah.
That person runs for me. I see their little uniform.
Yeah. And you can see clear. And they're like, the graphics have gotten a lot better for swimming to be able to track and to see how far ahead they are. But to me, it's just like, you'll be watching, like if you're watching the evening coverage where they're kind of bouncing around and they're like, see this really cool thing, and now to swimming. And it's just like, no nothing to disparage any swimmer out there. Congrats. You are better than I am. I'll just say that right now. Swimmers, you're all better than I am. But it's just like they cut their swimming and it's just like,
It's not a TV sport. It's not good to
No.
watch on TV.
Yes. I think
That's my problem.
Yes.
If it was great television, like pack it in, sure. Every swimming event, like, but swimming is not great television for the most part. Like I would rather watch people run where I can see their whole body and like get excited that somebody looks like they might win when they shouldn't or something. Like that's way more
Yeah.
exciting to me. I can't watch a whole week of swimming.
No.
Pass. I'll watch those dancing horses instead, because at least I can see their whole body.
That's a great take. A very controversial take. Everyone, please direct your comments to Rose. Where can they find you?
You can anger tweet me about my take at Rose L. Harding on Twitter, or you can find me in the We Have a Take Discord and yell at me there. Tara, where can they find you?
They can find me at TCB Bigs on Twitter. I'm also on Threads, and I'm trying. Oh God, I'm trying so hard. It's getting better because for actually a lot of Bravo is happening on Threads. Threads is great for like Housewives and Southern Charm and all that stuff. But like all of NBA Threads is just like, oh my God, NBA Threads is so great. This is such a great place. NBA Threads is so fun. Everybody's so great over here. Oh my God, come join us on NBA Threads. We're so nice. And I'm like, I don't want to watch basketball with nice people. I want to watch the people who are roasting people. This is boring. Like, oh, go. Like, at least like tell a joke. Nobody's getting any jokes off. They're just going, oh my God, we're so nice over here. So I'm trying so hard. And I'm supposed to be nice, but you get me over there on Threads, and I am just like type, nope, delete, nope, delete. Because I'm just like, these people are just like so ugh. You do not need to go there. And if you join Threads, be warned, do not do the thing which they try to get you to do, is to automatically connect it with all of your Instagram people, because then everybody who's on Instagram is also going to be on Threads with you. And the whole reason that you're on Twitter is to get away from all the Facebook and Instagram people. And then suddenly on Threads, they're all there. And it's like, oh God, what have I done?
Yeah, I can't bring myself to do Threads. Even though Threads is always like poking me, they're always like on Instagram, they're
Yeah.
like every time I log into Instagram, and I'm not a very good Instagrammer, I don't log in every day. But they're like, "Hey, Tara wants to follow you on Threads." And I'm like, "No, she doesn't. I know she hates it here. Don't lie to me. She hates it here. She doesn't want to follow me on Threads."
I can't figure out how to undo the whole thing that connects it to Instagram. So I want to go through all the people that I don't want. Like, no, it's fine. Don't follow me. Or just like to have me like just disappear from everybody's thing. Like, my mom is on Instagram. What if my mom starts following me on Threads? I mean, I'm already like biting my tongue, but like she's 89 years old. I don't want her to know what I feel about the Golden Warriors, because I sound like I'm a horrible person. So I don't know. Just you're fine where you are, Rose.
It's
Stick
too
with.
close to it. It feels like crawling, like crawling a little too close back to the Facebook ecosystem, which is like I left Facebook because it was filled with people that I didn't want to know anything
Mhm.
about. And I was like, okay, everyone from my high school found me cool. It's time to leave.
Yeah. I have to admit, I had to get on Facebook the other day because of I was attending an event that was like only the details were only on Facebook, and it took me forever to like figure out how to get on there in the first place because it had been so long. It's been at least a year or two since I've been on Facebook. And I was on there for like 15 minutes, and it was lovely. It
Was
was
it?
for 15 minutes. It was like, oh, I forgot about her. Oh my God, I forgot. Oh, look at their kids all grown up. Oh, their kid got married. That's so sweet. And then after that, I was just like, I'm going to just quit while I'm ahead, and I'll be back in 2 years. Because I didn't get any of the crazy stuff. I didn't get any, like, I got barely any ads. As soon as the ads started to show up, I was like, "Doop, I'm out." But for that 15 minutes, I was like, what is everybody complaining about? This is perfectly nice. But I bet if I'd stayed a 16th minute, it would have been a disaster.
Yeah, that's how I generally feel about like most social media that keeps you connected to like your past.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah,
And you
like
can't get
I
out of
spend
it.
here,
Like, how do I
oh, you spend
undo?
here a little too long. It's like if you go to your high school reunion, you go to your high school reunion for like 1.5 hours and then you leave because if you stay there for the full 3, you're gonna be like, oh, this is why I didn't want to come here.
Then you're like all wrapped up again with those people again. And it's like, oh God, what have I done? Shout out to anybody I went to high school with who might be listening.
Oh yeah, same. I love all of you people that I went to high school with that listen to this podcast. It's the other ones that don't listen to this podcast that
That we have
I'm trying
problems
to.
with.
Yeah.
Rose, is so great catching up with you. And I don't know when we'll do this again. We'll wait and see when the Blazers do something. It's really been like I said, a luxuriously quiet summer. So, when things ramp back up, we'll start again. But it's been great catching up with you. And to everybody who's listened, thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Tara. Go Blazers.